One of the most mysterious but fascinating parts of The Last Airbender is the Order of the White Lotus, an organization full of powerful and wise individuals who we see pop up throughout the series. In this video, I'll be breaking down every known member of the White Lotus as well as explaining its fascinating history, so be sure to smash the like and subscribe buttons, and let's get into it. Ayunerak. Ayunerak, also known as Mama, served as a high-level member of the White Lotus during Yangchen's era. Operating under a secret codename, she ran a shelter in Bin'er and adhered to water tribe customs. Despite disapproving of Avatar Yangchen's proactive approach, Ayunerak later assisted in investigating the Unanimity project, which was a sinister plan to use combustion benders as weapons. Following Yangchen's success, Ayunerak, the dedicated executor of the organization, intervened to protect a man named Kavik and invited him to join the White Lotus. Kavik. A waterbender recruited by Ayunerak, Kavik became an independent errand runner in his youth when he and his family moved to Bin'er. After attempting to steal from Avatar Yangchen, he was recruited as her informant, leading to an investigation of the Shangs and their Unanimity project. He then joined an association of runners and raided a warehouse, encountering his estranged brother, Kalyaan. He betrayed Yangchen by providing false information, but later confessed and helped defeat Unanimity. Do was a firebender within the White Lotus who was often seen training with Kavik in Bin'er, showcasing their sparring encounters and the development of their relationship. Later, the two engaged in discussions about the White Lotus's strategy to control Unanimity, with Do emphasizing their quest for balance and control over the combustion benders. Their interactions eventually escalated during a mission in Taku, leading to a fatal confrontation, during which Do sacrificed himself to protect the White Lotus's goals, leaving a lasting impact on Kavik and the mission. What a noble way to go out. Ivalu was a member of the White Lotus stationed at Agna. She played a crucial role in tending to Ayunerak and Kavik after their umiak was damaged during a mission. During an investigation into Avatar Yangchen's whereabouts, Ivalu inadvertently disclosed Ayunerak's position as the White Lotus executor. As they raced through Agna, she kept watch while Ayunerak and Kavik entered the Spirit Oasis. Ivalu's story ends with her move to a White Lotus safe house, marking her involvement in key missions and responsibilities within the organization. Opelajuk, a courier from the Southern Water Tribe during Avatar Kyoshi's era, held the responsibility of delivering messages between the Southern and Northern tribes. Her job was fraught with risks, carrying messages that were often unwelcome, and the vast distance between the tribes posed potential complications. Additionally, she worked as a discreet courier for the Order of the White Lotus, only divulging this connection to a select few. Following the Camellia Peony War, Opelajuk took on a crucial task, shuttling messages between lesser politicians from both tribes who were collaborating to support the South and defend against pirates. Jinpa, a monk of the Southern Air Temple and White Lotus member, served as Avatar Kyoshi's head of administration and later became her secretary. Despite his pacifist background, Jinpa supported Kyoshi in unconventional actions, playing crucial roles in her quests, diplomatic missions, and even facing injuries in the Camellia Peony War's final confrontation with Yun, showcasing his dedication to the Avatar's cause. Bumi, the eccentric and elderly king of Omashu, maintained a close friendship with Avatar Aang, being the only surviving friend from Aang's childhood. Despite his wild demeanor, Bumi was a formidable and strong earthbending master, often claiming to be the most powerful earthbender. His eccentricity stemmed from keeping his mind open to the possibilities in life, highlighted by turning the Omashu delivery system into a shoot ride. While appearing senile, Bumi was a brilliant and patient tactician, waiting for just the right moment for action and displaying stoic-like composure in various situations, whether it be a quiet meal or defending his city during an attack. His unpredictable actions and lack of explanations often frustrated his subordinates. Fong, a crafty member of the Order of the White Lotus, owned a flower shop in the Misty Palms Oasis, using it as a secret meeting place. When recognized by Iroh, they revealed Iroh's White Lotus identity through a game of Pai Sho. After this, while being pursued by bounty hunters, Fong created a diversion, enabling the escape of Zuko and Iroh during a bar brawl, leading them to his flower shop, where he arranged a secret White Lotus meeting, resulting in plans for their travel to Ba Sing Se. Myeongsu. Presumably a high-ranking member of the White Lotus, Myeongsu lived during the 100-Year War and ordered a group to infiltrate the ranks of the Fire Nation army, working as spies reporting back to the White Lotus whenever they attained valuable information. Iroh, a retired and legendary general of the Fire Nation, former Crown Prince, and Grand Lotus of the Order of the White Lotus, Iroh was renowned as the Dragon of the West for his fire-bending prowess and the claim of slaying the last dragon. Characterized by wisdom and spirituality, he incorporated elements of other bending disciplines into his own techniques. Unlike his family, Iroh was gentle, easygoing, and even aided Avatar Aang, earning him the label of traitor among the Fire Nation. Deeply affected by the death of his son Lu Ten, Iroh considered his nephew Zuko as a son and guided him to forge his own destiny, even if that meant putting up with Zuko's deep anger. Many years later, after Zuko's coronation as Fire Lord, Iroh retired, reopening the Jasmine Dragon tea shop, and upon completing his mortal journey, he chose to enter the spirit world, continuing his tea service to various spirits. Such a wholesome ending for an incredibly loved character, and certainly one that will not be forgotten. Zhong Zhong, known as the deserter Zhong Zhong, a powerful and enlightened master of firebending, directly witnessed the horrors of the 100-Year War. Despite being a highly regarded admiral in the Fire Nation Navy, he grew disillusioned with both his nation and the practice of firebending, leading him to defect from the military. Widely recognized as the first individual to take such a bold step and survive, he earned the moniker the Deserter and achieved legendary status. He opted to settle in the Earth Kingdom, where he formed connections with a small tribe who accompanied him on his journeys. Embracing the tenets of the Order of the White Lotus, he played a pivotal role in the liberation of Ba Sing Se. Pakku. Pakku, once hailed as the world's greatest waterbender, was a stern and highly skilled Northern-style waterbending master. Despite his initially rigid adherence to Northern Water Tribe traditions, particularly in teaching only male students, his encounter with Katara prompted a change in his beliefs. After reuniting with and marrying Kana, he established a waterbending school in the Southern Water Tribe, embracing both male and female students. As a revered member of the Order of the White Lotus, Pakku played a significant role in the liberation of Ba Sing Se, showcasing not only his waterbending prowess, but also his profound wisdom. Piandao. Piandao was an incredibly wise and powerful non-bender who developed his own formidable fighting style in the army. Disillusioned with the Fire Nation's role in the 100-Year War, he deserted, traveled the world, and settled in Shujing. Sokka sought Piandao's tutelage, impressing him with humility, and was trained through various tasks, eventually crafting a meteorite sword. Later, Piandao joined the Order of the White Lotus, contributing to the liberation of Ba Sing Se. The White Lotus leader. The acting leader of the White Lotus, who was a waterbender, visited the South Pole 4 years after Avatar Aang's passing to identify the new Avatar. Initially skeptical, he confirmed Korra as the Avatar when she showcased her bending abilities. 13 years later, during Korra's firebending test, the leader expressed concerns but acknowledged her readiness for airbending training under Tenzin, opposing the idea of her returning to Republic City due to safety concerns. White Lotus sentries. After the end of the 100-Year War, the White Lotus prioritized protecting and training the new Avatar Korra per Avatar Aang's request. Sentries were stationed at a compound, initially attempting to bring Korra back to the South Pole, but her airbending training commenced on Air Temple Island. The sentries faced challenges during the Equalist Crisis, the Red Lotus incidents, and later guarded criminals like Zahir and Kuvira in various locations. Although these were low-ranking members of the White Lotus, they were still proficient at their respective bending. Zai Bao. Almost nothing is known about this member, they were only mentioned briefly by one of the creators, so we don't really have anything to say about them. History. So originally the Order of the White Lotus began as a secretive society, but evolved into a sophisticated organization with a global mission of knowledge sharing. As it expanded, the Order took on the responsibility of guiding and influencing various avatars, acting as secret mentors and protectors for the greater good. Although most notable during crucial moments in history, the White Lotus preferred discreet observation and subtle influence. In the past, a pre-Yangchen avatar closely collaborated with the White Lotus, gaining access to their recognition codes, which she later recalled due to her exceptional memory of past lives. The White Lotus infiltrated the Western Air Temple during Avatar Yangchen's upbringing, monitoring her connections to past lives. They also observed the influence of Shang merchants, with Ayunerak assisting the unemployed in Ben-Er. Ayunerak, a high-level member, investigated ships on Big Island during the Unanimity project with Yangchen. After dealing with Unanimity's combustion bending, Ayunerak warned Kavik of rising risks, encouraging him to align with her and her associates. Similar to the world's challenges, the White Lotus struggled to identify Kuruk's successor, leading to a challenging early life for Avatar Kyoshi. Operating discreetly, the Order concealed its activities and existence from public knowledge during this period. Jinpa, a White Lotus member, indirectly expressed regret and became Kyoshi's secretary, subtly hinting at the organization's existence. Additionally, the Order employed a courier named Alpelajuk for vital deliveries between the northern and southern water tribes. Before Avatar Aang's emergence during the 100-Year War, Myong-Su of the White Lotus assigned adventurers to act as spies and saboteurs within the Fire Army, aiming to slow down the Fire Nation's advance. Grieving the loss of his son at the siege of Ba Sing Se, Iroh joined the Order during a spiritual journey, rising to the rank of Grand Lotus. The Order, led by Iroh, liberated Ba Sing Se during Sozin's Comet, collaborating with other benders to achieve success. Post the peaceful end of the 100-Year War, the Order of the White Lotus transitioned from secrecy to a more open role in serving the world and the Avatar, although certain operations remained undisclosed. This shift caused internal strife, leading to the emergence of the radical Red Lotus, led by Zai Bao. Disagreeing with the Order's new direction, the Red Lotus departed, viewing the Order as the Avatar's bodyguards. Despite Grand Lotus Iroh's attempts at reconciliation, the division persisted for years. The Red Lotus, growing increasingly militant, aimed to reunite the mortal and spirit world and eliminate all forms of government. The extreme nature of the Red Lotus's agenda initially remained unknown to the Order of the White Lotus. Following Avatar Aang's passing, the Order of the White Lotus conducted an extensive inquiry to identify the new Avatar. Upon Tonrak and Senna's invitation, a delegation officially recognized Korra as the next Avatar. Around 158 AG, the Order imprisoned Red Lotus members for attempting to abduct Korra, keeping them under White Lotus sentry watch for 13 years. Assigned to protect the next Avatar, the Order, at Tenzin and Tonrak's insistence, oversaw Korra's development and training in the Southern Water Tribe compound. White Lotus sentries monitored Korra's actions during her airbending training on Air Temple Island. During the battle for Republic City, the sentries bravely fought Equalist attackers, sacrificing themselves to facilitate Team Avatar's escape. After capture by the Equalists, Korra later restored their bending using energy bending. Following Zahir's arrest, the Order resumed responsibility for his imprisonment in a new facility near Republic City. 3 years later, they managed the imprisonment and transportation of Kuvira after her failed invasion of the United Republic of Nations during her trial hearing in Republic City. So that's the full history of the White Lotus, as well as a breakdown of all its known members. It truly is one of the most fascinating parts of The Last Airbender's universe, since it brings together people of many backgrounds and experiences to unify towards achieving peace. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, I'd appreciate you dropping a like and subscribe for more awesome Avatar content. Cheers guys, if you made it this far, drop a thank Mr. Piandao in the comments down below.